Greetings and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to what will be the third video on the DBK knife. My fire is already lit, and the plan for today is basically I'm going to batten down some timber for future fires. Don't need it today. And I'm also, with the splits I get, I'm going to make a few carved items. I'm going to make a netting shuttle, and I'm also going to make a spatula. See how well the knife performs doing things like that. I will be using a saw today. I've got no intention of cross battening a piece that thick. Not going to happen. It takes too long for a start. So I'll be using my little cheap and cheerful samurai saw, which is actually excellent. So first off, I'm going to cut a couple of rounds down. I'm going to work out the length I want my netting shuttle, and I'm going to split that first. I'm going to attempt to cut these knot free, but the timber I've got has got some small knots in it, so I'm going to have to be a bit selective. I'll keep the nasty knotty pieces then for battening down for the fire. Well, unfortunately, it's gone a bit thin. Just means I'll have to make a shorter netting shuttle. Perhaps I should have cut that a bit longer. That's a bit better. Making a netting shuttle, the thinner it is the better, because the easier it is to do the cutout. So I'm going to have to shave this down a bit more. Can you see how warm it is today? I'm sweating like hell. Well, there we are, that's not bad. Unfortunately, this wood is a little bit wet, but I got to work with what I got. Right, well, I'm going to take a seat now and do some carving. One thing I've noticed in the past making netting shuttles, if you do the shape first, so you're expending energy on your blade, making that round portion and the little square portion out of there. When you start making the cutout, if you slip and it splits, well then you've wasted your time. So I will do that first. Now ideally I do it on a log, but I've got a split piece of wood here. I'm going to do it on my lap and be careful. That's the cutout. And then I can cut through there. I'm through. Now I basically just keep going like that until I've got the cut out. Well, I'm through, and that's all I need to do now is carve these out and carve them neat, because I've been just doing slim cuts and picking it out with the blade. Now ideally a carving knife or something nice and light like a morer is best for this, because this handle's quite heavy and I could very well slip. It's not intended for this, but let's give it a go. That's what I say. Now this is why I don't like the profile of the morer garbug, because doing this with that stubby end would be an absolute nightmare. It really wouldn't want to work. This is a bit broad, but it's nowhere near as bad as a garbug. Well, I've got to that point, so this is now basically usable. That's all I need to do is take a chunk out of there and take a chunk out of there, which won't take long at all. It got to there fine, but when I want to get in there and take fine shavings off, that meaty tip is just a bit too big. That kind of tip you want for this stuff. Gets in so much easier, but then this is a knife basically designed for cutting wood. That slim tip gets in there so much easier, so just bear that in mind. If you want this to be a do-it-all knife, it will carve and it's a good knife, but there is still that extra meat up on the tip which doesn't allow it to carve like a dedicated carving knife. Well, I'm going to knock these off now, being very careful because that's quite delicate now. So instead of giving it some hell, nibble it off. Now you can drill it out, but I'm not bothering, I'm carving it out. Done. Now I can slim this down if I want, but if I am slimming it down, I gotta remember not to do that. I gotta chip it away. Now I need to rehydrate because it's really warm. I've left the fire go so long, I've got to put a feather stick underneath. Right, I've had a cup of tea and rehydrated. Now it's time to do some slightly heavier splitting than I did last time. And I got a special treat for you afterwards. Yes, this wood is a bit damp and it needs drying out, so I'm going to split this up now and leave it in the sun for a couple of days. Absolute piece of cake. It's a really good splitter. And guess what I forgot to do? I forgot to split the piece for the spatula. Well, that was nice and quick. If you're wondering what that is, just put a cord on, hang it up, keep it out of the dirt. Can't argue with that really, can you? Pretty quick. I know the netting shuttle took a while, but that's basically because I'm adjusting camera angles. I'm trying not to cut myself on camera, and that is a little bit thick for fine carving. It's a great knife. Right, and now for your special treat. I'm going to do what I said I wasn't going to do last time. I'm going to cut the tomato up. Well, I've been using this all morning and I haven't checked the edge, so I'm assuming it's fine. Let's see how well it cuts the tomato. That's good enough for me. The crap off it, I'm quite hungry. Well, that's it for part 3. Absolute piece of cake to carve a spatula. No problem at all. A little bit more awkward on the netting shuttle because the depth of the blade hasn't got that woodworking point, but I can't grumble at that. Yeah, it needs a little bit more work, but it's quite serviceable. I didn't bother making, I think it's called the former that goes with this, because that's just a piece of cake and you can make them any size. I would probably have struggled to make a smaller one with this because of the weight of the handle and carving duties. It could get a bit dangerous carving smaller ones, but did that just fine. Split that wood up, piece of cake. It's a good knife. And the tomato, or tomato if you're in the US of A, well, after doing that work, it just peeled it off. Probably 1/2 mil, the thinnest one. Can't grumble at all. Yes, so final thoughts. I like this knife. It is an excellent do-everything bushcraft survival knife. Limitations with carving, but any of your camp duties you need, this piddles it. And it's kept an edge pretty good. I think it just needs a strop every now and again. And we all know sharpening a convex isn't the most fun thing to do in the world, but learn how to sharpen a convex if you buy one. Great knife. Very impressed with it. Definitely better than the Falconriven F1 range for what I do. I'm not slagging off Falconriven. I love Falconriven. I've got loads of them and I've had loads of them. Nice knife, comfortable, works in any grip. When you are carving, there is enough depth there to choke up. As long as you're careful, you won't cut yourself. I haven't. Right, that's me done. Hope you enjoyed this video, learned something, or even if you're just entertained. I hope so. And your comments and your views are always appreciated, and that thumbs up, that is definitely appreciated. Until the next time, ta-ra. God, it's warm. Oh, fuck shit.